What are you going to believe in your life? Some people say, I don't believe in God. Why? You need to show me God, then I will believe Him. Do you have proof there is no God? Forget about proof that there is God. Can you prove that there is no God? Can anybody prove there is no God? So one person is taking a leap of faith that there is no God. One person is taking a leap of faith that there is God. In both cases, faith is there. Now the choice you have is, will I just choose to limit my faith to my senses, what I can see? Or will I take the leap of faith towards the Supreme? So where are you going to place your faith? Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha Shraddhaya chitumicchati tasya chalam shraddham tamev vidadhamyaham. Whatever celestial form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, I steady the faith of such a devotee in that form. A very simple verse in which this word Shraddha or faith has come 2 times. If devotees wish to worship a celestial form with faith, Sri Krishna says, I from inside steady the faith of that devotee. Without faith, there can be no devotion. Binu Vishwas Bhagati Nahi, Tehi Binu Dravahina Rama. The Ramayana says, without faith, there will be no scope for bhakti. This faith is such an important thing. The Kathopanishad says, if you can have faith, you will become God realized. Astite vopalabdhasya tattva bhava prasidati. This Kathopanishadic mantra says, the day you believe the definition of God, that very day you will be God realized. The definition of God, every Hindu has heard 100 million times. He is everywhere. He's sitting in the heart. He's all powerful. He's an ocean of bliss. He is our eternal Father, etc., etc. We all hear this and we say it also. बिना भगवान की इच्छा के एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. But the point is that we don't believe it. We only say it. Do we really believe that God is the ocean of bliss? Do we really believe that He is our eternal Father? The Kathopanishad says, if you did believe, you would have become God realized. There is nothing more to it. Mirabai was given a cup of poison and she was told it is the Charanamrit of Giridhar Gopal. She said, if it is the Charanamrit, then it can do no harm to me. Her maid servant said, Arey Maharani Ju, this is poison. Never mind, it is Charanamrit. She drank it with full faith. Nothing happened to her. Prahlad, we have all heard Holika took him in the lap and sat in the fire. But Prahlad actually believed that God is everywhere. And sitting in the fire, he said, Tate shavahni pavane ritopi namam dhavyatra samantatoham pashyami padmas taranastritani shitani sarvani disham mukhani. My Vishnu is in every atom of this fire. It is seeming to me like a sheet of lotus flowers has been spread on me. And the fire did not burn Prahlad. The consequence we all know, Holika got burnt. This is the power of faith in God. Faith in the world also determines the direction of your life. Some people believe that it is prestige and positions that will give glory and happiness, and they keep on running. You win this election and win that election, etc., etc. Mahatma Gandhi believed Satya and Ahimsa will be victorious. Satyameva Jayate. The truth and non-violence will achieve victory. His belief was so powerful that he created a whole movement around it. An unprecedented movement around the world in the last 5,000 years. When the empire on which the sun never set, the empire that ruled half the globe, he threw it out of Bharatvarsh through non-violent means. In the West, what I've seen is that people don't know Indian saints, but they all know Mahatma Gandhi and they respect him for what he did. But that was the power of faith. So this faith, what are you going to believe in your life? Some people say, I don't believe in God. Why? You need to show me God, then I will believe. Karl Marx said, I have got no problem believing God, provided I can put him in a laboratory and dissect him. Now God is Brahma. He's bigger than the biggest. So if you want in front of that, Karl Marx is smaller than a mosquito. But his aspiration is that I need to dissect God, and only when I have the proof I will believe in him. So those who say I don't believe in God, you tell them that do you have proof there is no God? Forget about proof that there is God. Can you prove that there is no God? Can anybody prove there is no God? The only way you can prove there is no God is if you check everything in creation. Because if there's one thing that you have not checked, maybe that one thing is God. So one person is taking a leap of faith that there is no God. One person is taking a leap of faith that there is God. In both cases, faith is there. Nobody is without faith in this world. Now the choice you have is, will I just choose to limit my faith to my senses, what I can see? Or will I take the leap of faith towards the Supreme, the All-Auspicious? Narad Ji once came to Mrityulok, the earth planet. There are many stories of the travels of the celestial sage. So he went to the house of a scholar. The Vedic scholar was reciting Vedic mantras, the hymns. And he saw Narad, he welcomed him, offered his respects. And Narad said, can I do something for you? The scholar said, Maharaj, you must be going to Vaikunt, the abode of God. So next time you go, please ask him, when will I achieve liberation? Narad said, small work, I'll ask him. From there, Narad went to the house of a cobbler, a mochi, whose job was to stitch shoes. He was also welcomed there. And this cobbler, with all the respect that he could muster all his items, he welcomed the celestial sage. Narad asked him as well, "Is there something I can do for you?" The mochi also said, "Maharaj, your gati is all the way to Vaikunt. So next time you meet Narayan, please ask him, when will I be free from this cycle of life and death?" Narad said, "Sure, I'll do it." And from there, Narad headed straight to Vaikunt. Narayan welcomed him. And Narayan said, "Where did you travel to today, Narad?" Narad said, "I went to the Earth planet." "Did you meet anybody interesting?" "I met a Vedic scholar and a cobbler. And they both were curious to know, when will their mukti happen?" Narayan said, "Tell the Vedic scholar that the tree in his courtyard, as many leaves as it has, those many lifetimes it will take him. And tell the cobbler that this is going to be his last life." Narad said, "Maharaj, but how is that so? The scholar is reciting hymns, and the cobbler doesn't even know any hymns. The only shlok he knows is Tvameva Mata ja Pita Tvameva." Narayan said, "When you meet them, they are going to ask you, what was God doing when you met him? So you tell them that God, Narayan, was taking an elephant through the eye of a needle. You know, the needle and the eye. So he was taking an elephant through the eye of a needle. You will understand the logic behind my answer." Narad again came and met the scholar. The scholar interrupted his recitations and said, "Maharaj, did you go to Vaikunt?" "Yes." "Did you meet Narayan?" "I did." "What was Narayan doing when you met him?" He said, "Narayan was taking an elephant through the eye of a needle." So the scholar started laughing. "Ah, ha, ha, you got a sense of humor. I've got an intellect. You believe me to swallow that? Arey Baba, I can't even take a thread through the needle until I put my glasses on. And God is taking an elephant." Nevertheless, what did he say? "When will I get liberated?" Narad said, "Now I understand." He said, "This tree, as many leaves as it has got, it will take you those many lifetimes because you're devoid of this element of faith." And then he went to the cobbler. The cobbler also asked him, "Maharaj, what was God doing?" "God was taking an elephant through the eye of a needle." The cobbler heard and he started dancing, "Jayo Narayana Narayana." Narad said, "You believed it? Can anybody take an elephant through the eye of a needle?" The cobbler said, "Maharaj, my Bhagavan is such. He manifests this huge banyan tree from a little seed. What is impossible for him? He is kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum. Whatever he does, he likes, he can do." "What did he say about my liberation?" Narad said, "You know what? He said, this is your final life. You have been endowed with faith." So this faith is such a big thing which can work to your benefit or to your detriment based on what you have placed your faith upon. If you have placed your faith upon wrong information, happiness is in the bottle, then God be with you because your life is ruined. And if you've placed your faith on divine wisdom, then auspiciousness is what is awaiting you in the years ahead. So where are you going to place your faith? Now Sri Krishna says, "Arjun, I am the bestower of faith." It is easy to say have faith in God, but how will you have faith in God? Supposing I tell you, have faith that you can jump 7 feet into the air. Have faith. I can jump 7 feet into the air. No matter what you try, the faith is not going to come. The Sri Krishna creates the faith. You create the hunger for that faith. Create the hunger through detachment. When you develop detachment, then the hunger for God arises. And God fills that with faith in your heart. So you must seek this faith. And to have faith, Shankaracharya said, Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Dridho Vishwasaha Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Faith in the Guru and in the scriptures. So this faith is a big wealth, and that is why it is a sin to destroy the good faith of other people. There is a story about Swami Vivekananda. One person called Kaluram, he used to worship a whole lot of little deities by the side of the Ganga. And Swami Vivekananda would say, what is this you are doing? You just worship the one supreme. And finally, Swami Vivekananda, by his mental power, he inspired Kaluram to take all his deities and immerse them into the Ganga. By his mind, he kind of overtook the mind of that person. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa came to know of it. And he said, how bad. You have destroyed his faith. So he may grow from one faith to a higher faith to a higher faith. But you have no right to destroy his faith like that. I am taking away your siddhis, your mystic power, so that you can never do this thing again in this life. So, it is a terrible offense to destroy anybody's faith. This is said in the scriptures also. If anybody has read the Quran Sharif carefully, it says there that those who don't believe, you leave them to their own beliefs. Don't interfere, leave them in the hands of Allah. And those who don't understand will say, no, they are kafirs. So, this faith, Sri Krishna says, Arjun, those who wish to worship celestial gods, they do so with faith. I am giving them the faith. Why is Krishna giving them the faith? Because just like the parents, they allow the children to play with dolls. The child says, Mummy, marriage. The parents say, okay, you take Guddi and Gudiya, you get them married. And the child is playing with the dolls and the parents are indulging the children. They know it's good for my child. It will help my child develop these qualities of caring, of nurturing, of empathy, of love. Let the child play with dolls right now, and when the child grows up to 25 or so, then the child can get married. But for now, the dolls are fine. Likewise, God says, look, if you have not been able to catch me, then you worship the celestial devatas with faith. I will give you the faith. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He says in the 15th chapter, Arjun, I am seated in everyone. And from me comes knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. You create the desires and I help you in that direction. So, this question that how come people develop such staunch faith in their own deity? Because it's coming from God. The God says, play with the Guddi Gudiya. But then, He goes further. Now, if the child says, I want to remain in primary school all my life, the parents will say, okay, now you have to graduate from primary, you have to go to middle school, then high school. So after saying this, now he's doing the Khandan, the next verses.